who's going to help lead this state to 4 outstanding years of additional prosperity, Loretta Weinberg. Now look, at this point in the campaign, you've heard all the arguments. You've seen all the ads. In fact, you're tired of all the ads. You know that Jon Corzine's running for re-election. You know that the other guy doesn't seem to have a very proactive agenda other than going after Jon. You know that it's a tough time for New Jersey and it's a tough time for America. I don't have to tell you that. You see it in your own lives. You see it here in Newark. You see it all around the country. Too many folks out of work. Too many hard-working families who are seeing their costs of everything go up and seeing their wages shrink, their hours reduced. You've got men and women who've been working all their lives, working hard. And somehow they're worried about whether they can retire with dignity or respect. They're worried about whether they can send their kids to college. They're wondering whether they can be the kind of providers, the kind of husbands and wives, mothers and fathers they hope to be because of economic factors out of their control. I love the fact. Listen up. You know, when you've got seniors worried about retirement, you've got young people worried about their ability to pay for college. You know these are challenging times, and so you want somebody who is in politics for the right reason.
That's right.
Jon Corzine's in politics for the right reason. He knows folks are hurting. But here's what I know. For the past 4 years, you've had an honorable man, a decent man, an honest man, at the helm of this state during extraordinary times. You've had a leader who's put the interests of hard-working New Jersey families ahead of self-interest and ahead of politics. He's fought for what matters to ordinary folks. That's the kind of governor Jon Corzine has been, and if everybody in this auditorium works hard in the next 2 days, that's the kind of governor he's going to be for another 4 more years. Let's look at the record. Don't worry about all that political nonsense that's out there, all the negative ads. Let's look at the record. There's a tendency among politicians to distort their opponent's record in the heat of the campaign. We understand that. Jon's a tough guy. But let's look at the record. Jon Corzine is a governor who's provided more property tax relief than any governor in New Jersey's history. He's the first governor in 60 years who's actually reduced the size of government in the state. Now, so when you're on the other side talking about how Jon Corzine's a tax and spend Democrat and all that stuff, just look at the record. He's done what they couldn't do and what they didn't do. But here's what's important, and Cory Booker will testify. Folks here in Newark will testify. He has been prudent with your taxpayer dollars, but he's protected the things that matter the most. Here's a guy who stood up when they wanted to cut education. Jon Corzine stood up. Corzine expanded early childhood education for more than 5,000 children. He understood pre-K isn't babysitting. It's a pathway to success for our young people. That's the kind of government we need. At a time when the other guy doesn't have too much to say about health care, Jon Corzine, under his leadership, saw the Children's Health Insurance Program expand by nearly 100,000 more kids. Think about that, 100,000 kids who got health insurance because of the work of this government and his party. Jon Corzine's looking towards the future. And so he's made New Jersey a clean energy leader because he knows that's where the jobs are going to come from. Jobs that can be outsourced, that pay a good wage. Working families can spend time with a newborn baby or a sick loved one because of paid sick leave signed into law by Jon Corzine. When it comes to the issues that matter most, the issue of jobs, Corzine was at the forefront. He worked with me to develop the Recovery Act. He was the first governor in the country to pass a recovery plan to get this state's economy moving again. Listening to Jon's opponent, you'd think New Jersey was the only state going through a tough time right now. I have something to report. We had the worst financial crisis since the Great Depression. By the way, that didn't start under Jon's watch.